This is where we left off yesterday. Any questions? No, we're good? Okay. Oh, yeah. Whoosh. Rational equations. See the word equation means there's probably going to be some solving. And that's what's going on here. As usual, tweak the notes as you want, make them into your own words, etc., etc. Like for me, I wouldn't write down that second point unless you sometimes go, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I think it's been said lots of times, lots of ways, but you do you. Have I ever asked you guys what's better than cold club soda? Nothing. It's yummy. I can have it any time of the day or night, and it's always amazing. But I tried. People talk about SodaStream. Why don't you use SodaStream? We got a SodaStream. Tried it. Upset my stomach. It's really weird. So now I just go through 65,000 cans every day. Yeah, you do. I drink a ton of club soda. You probably have more sandwiches than I have club soda in a day. I feel like you probably wake up in the middle of the night, like just to roll over and then take a bite of a sandwich and set it down or something.
Not that would legitimately wake up to make himself a sandwich and then go back to sleep.
Sandwiches are good. I'm not dissing sandwiches. Don't get me wrong. But there's this line. I remember some. Never mind. I think it's a bit of a inappropriate joke from Johnny Carson. So never mind. Sorry, I brought it up. Are we good? Do we got this? Yeah. Not yet. I see a couple people. Are you good? What about you, Emma? Emma Joy? Is that your middle name? Jamie, what's your middle name? Elise. That's right. That's right. You good? Gavin, what's your middle name? I think I asked you this. Peter or something like that? David. What? See, pretty close. Okay, so here's kind of the steps that you're going to follow when you're solving a rational equation. Notice it says, let me get my little red pointer, algebraically. If you were to solve these graphically, you have one expression on one side, one on the other. You just graph those each separately. Where they intersect is your solution. Now, that would be a fair amount of work for us because we'd have to plot the exact right points to make sure by hand. So we're doing it algebraically. So first find all the non-permissible values, kind of set them aside, but not somewhere where you'll forget them. Because if you find, okay, so x cannot equal 1 or negative 1, and then at the end your solution says x equals either 1 or 5, done. You got to go back to your non-permissibles and then reject one of the non-permissibles, or all of the non-permissibles that fit. You got to reject them. Sometimes you'll have no solution. LCD, do you remember what LCD stands for? Lowest common denominator. Yes. So we want to get rid of the fractions. That's essentially what we're doing there. Sam, do you feel like sharing your middle name? Grace. That's a nice name. Samantha Grace. Is it Samantha? Is that, yeah. I was asking Mr. Enns today, Because I like shortening people's names, but when they have a short name, then I want to lengthen it. Just, I guess, because I have, problems. And so I asked him, I said, all I can come up with is either Wesley or West. And he says, it's not West. And so, but he said when he was teaching in Kenya, he says, it's like, West, that's not a name. West? Is it West? And he's like, sure. And he says, everybody called him West, not West. It's just too short. Add that T on the end. Taught a student named Dixon. Left that name exactly as it was. That was a smart kid. The reason I have the asterisk beside 1 for your assignment is because 1 is just asking for your non-permissibles. But you can go ahead and solve them. It's good practice. If you want the extra practice, you want some extra questions? No. I said if. You're not the only one here, Gavin, Peter, David, John, Bueller.
David Peter.
What?
David Peter.
David Peter. Micah, what's your middle name?
Ernest Jacob.
Ernest Jacob. That's great. Are those family names?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Got you both. Do you have any idea like why they put Ernest in front? Was it the sound or was it an age or?
Probably the sound.
Yeah. Ernest Jacob. Karina. Do I know your middle name?
Maybe.
Do you feel like sharing it?
Shauna.
Yes, I do. I do know your middle name. I remember it now.
Except it's unfortunate because all of my names have 6 letters.
Isn't that kind of nice? Oh, no. Never mind. That took me a second too long to figure it out. It's like, but they're all, it's like, and I went, in my brain, I was like, but 6? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Andrew thought that his did that too, but then he realized he was spelling his middle name wrong.
That sounds like your brother.
Yeah.
What's his middle name?
Kenneth. It has 2 N's.
I could tell right away. You only put 1 N, hey? That's funny. Well, maybe you should spell Karina like with an H on the end. Karina.
Or 2 N's.
That'll look like Corinna.
Yeah.
Does anybody call you Corinna?
Yeah.
Yeah? Like, is it kind of an accent or they're just doing it to be silly?
On accident, yeah.
No, but with an accent? Like, is it? No, it's just, okay. Okay, are we good with this? Page 123, we're going to do examples. We're not going to do this first example. This one, all it's asking for is for what values is the equation not defined. So x can't equal 1. X can't equal -2. Here you would factor this to be, that looks like x times -4, or sorry, x minus 4 times x plus 1. So it can't be 4 or -1. So it's not defined for all of these. The reason we're not solving this one is because there's 4 different kind of denominators. So it's a whole lot of multiplying. You're not going to get a question like this. The solving's the tricky part. So let's jump to dose, numero dosio. Go through the steps. Red and green. It's Christmas. Okay, so this is number 2, page 124. And it is x over 3 equals x plus 6 over 3 plus 2 over x. All right, so when I said like there are parts that you can, like question number 1, you can still like solve those even though you're not asked to solve them. And if you're thinking, okay, but yeah, I can solve it, but then how do I know if I'm right, what the answer is? Well, you can punch it into Desmos. Come on. you can punch it into Desmos, and so you on one side you punch in, not on one side, in one spot you put x over 3, and then in a different spot you put x plus 6 over 3 plus 2 over x, and where they intersect are your answers. So first thing, non-permissibles. X cannot equal what?
0.
0. That's it. Our lowest common denominator.
3.
X.
3x. Good teamwork, you guys. Yeah, 3x. Just because there's 2 doesn't mean you multiply these together or add them or anything. You're good with that. So lowest common denominator is 3x. So we are going to multiply everything by 3x. Everything. So 3x times x over 3 equals 3x times x plus 6 over 3 plus 3x times 2 over x. Cool, cool, cool? Making sense? Stop me if I'm going too fast. That is a bit nightmarish. The fish face human thing. What is that? Cloud? What is that on the board? Like,
Which one? Oh.
yeah, see? Yeah. And you saw it. Which one? Oh. Calvin? What's your middle name? Do I know
Would
it?
you like to know?
Yeah, oh, you're going to play that game, eh? That's
Yeah, I
fair.
will.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I'll find out.
It's not even on the attendance list.
That's okay. Oh, I got some ways. But I respect your privacy and I will not tell anybody. But I'll know.
I just like people.
I
I don't mind. I just like watching people.
I know
suffer.
you, Calvin. I know that. Okay, so we're going to cross out what we can. We're going to cancel what we can. You cancel out only what's being multiplied. If it was 3x plus x, I could not cancel the 3's. Okay, so I cancel those 3's. Like for example, if it was a 6 down here, I wouldn't be able to cancel the 6's. I could only cancel an x plus 6 if that was down here. And then x. So now I'm going to clean up this multiplication. So x times x squared. X times x is x squared. X times 6 is 6x. 3 times 2 is 6. So far, so okay. I'm going to get everything to one side, make it all equal to 0. Well, if I subtract x squared from this side, I got to do it to this side. It's just going to cancel. So that makes my life easier. 0 equals 6x plus 6. Factor that bad boy. 6 is 6 times x plus 1. X equals -1. Now, I have to remember to check over here. It's not a non-permissible. Should work, should be fine. We should still check it. We should still check it. So we have -1 over 3 equals -1 plus 6 over 3 plus 2 over -1. We're asking ourselves, does this work? So we got -1/3 equals, and this is going to be 5 over 3 minus, I'm going to change this because this is over 1. I'm going to make it over 3 so we can add everything. So -2 over 1 would be -4 over 2 would be -6 over 3. Multiplying the top and the bottom by 3, so it's -6 over 3. And it becomes -1/3. It does in fact equal -1/3. Anybody remember what QED stands for? Yeah, bonus 5 points for you.
Okay, so the
No. But when you say that, I remember it coming up. Are we okay with this? Making sense? Is there any parts that didn't? Anytime I hear the name Jacob, I think of this. I used to work at this gas station. Everybody got this? You good? I used to work at this gas station. And some of the customers, some of these older guys, they're just kind of lonely. They just want to hang around and chat and stuff like that, which is fine. Nice guys. But there's one guy, really strong German accent. His name was Jacob. Really nice guy, but man, there were lots of times I had trouble understanding him. But he loved to just hang around. He'd get gas and then he'd move his car out of the way and then he'd just come sit in the office with me. Number 3. Page 124. I had a guy, there was a car dealership right next door, and the owner was the dad of a guy I went to school with. One of the most crooked human beings I've ever met in my life, constantly trying to steal gas, constantly. Then you'd catch him and he'd freak out, and interesting people in the world. You know, like, also, I've heard, like, there are people that like country music. It's messed up. All right. But hey, it's okay. God loves everyone. So now, before we say, we have three different, first we got to find our non-permissibles. We can do that right now, or we can clear this up a little bit so it's just a little bit easier to see. What should we do? Let's just do it right now. X cannot equal, what can it not equal here?
-1, -2.
Like this? Yes, correct. -1, -2. Also known as -1/2. And then what about this bad boy over here? Still -1/2, right?
Yeah.
So we're good. We're done. So now let's clean this up just a little bit before we can find our lowest common denominator. So I'm going to rewrite this. X plus 2 over 2x plus 1 equals 3 over, I'm going to factor out a 2. 2 times 2x plus 1 plus x over 3. So our lowest common denominator is 2x plus 1. Doesn't matter the order you write this. 2x plus 1 times 2 times 3. Now, there are some schools of thought that would say, well, multiply this through so you only got the one thing, but then it's harder to cancel after. Like I could make this 6, this would be 12x plus 6. That could be our lowest common denominator. It seems nice and clean and packaged, but it'll be harder to cancel after. So I'm going to leave it like this. And I'm going to multiply everything by this. So x plus 2 times 2x plus 1 times 2 times 3 equal, over 2x plus 1 equals 3 times 2x plus 1 times 2 times 3 all over 2 times 2x plus 1 plus x, bless you, times 2x plus 1 times 2 times 3 all over 3. We okay? Did I make any mistakes? We good? I feel happy. Anybody know what movie that's from? I feel happy. Sounds like what?
Sounds like hoodwinked.
It's Monty Python Search for the Holy Grail.
Oh, that movie. Oh.
That's when they're doing, bring out your dead. And this one guy's like, I'm not dead yet. Shut up, you will be. I feel happy. Anyway. Okay, so 2x plus 1. This is one term, so we can cancel that with this. Over here, we got 2x plus 1, 2x plus 1, 2 and 2. Here, it's just 3. So now I'm going to rewrite, clean it up a wee bit. So this is 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times x is 6x. 6 times 2 is 12. On top, I just have 3 times 3. And then over here, it's 2x times 2x plus 1. 2x times 2x is 4x squared, and then 2x times 1, 2x. Does that sound like new shoes? My leading coefficient is positive on this side, so I'm going to leave it here. If it was negative, I'd probably bring it to this side. But instead, I'm going to subtract negative 6x. I'm sorry, not going to subtract negative 6x. I'm going to subtract 6x. I need to slow down. And subtract 12 from both sides. 0 equals, and I'm going to start with the 4x squared. 2x minus 6x is negative 4x. 9 minus 12 is negative 3. And this is when we have to go back to our factoring powers. 4 times negative 3, so the A times the C, 4 times negative 3 equals negative 12. I need two numbers that both add up to negative 12 and multiply to give me negative 12. Right? So, or sorry, is that right?
No,
What am I saying wrong here?
needs to add to negative 4. I think.
Add to negative 4, but multiply to negative 12? Yeah. Yeah. So 2 and 6. Yeah, sorry, right. Yeah, the two numbers that add to negative 4, but multiply to negative 12. So that would be negative 6 plus 2 equals negative 4, and negative 6 times 2 equals negative 12. Thank you. So we rewrite our negative 4x as negative 6x and 2. And so we have the 6 and the 2 that are going to kind of replace this. We have to decide which side they go on. Which side does 2 go on? Which side does 6 go on? I'm going to put 6 second because that factors with 3. So I don't know if I'm saying the words right, but what it's going to look like is going to be plus 2x minus 6x minus 3. I want to put these together because they have common factors and these together because they have common factors.
How come we aren't just like factoring?
We are. We're just doing it. Well, just the way that some people need to and practice. If you want to like look at this and trial and error, go for it. This is a bit more direct. If you can see it, then great. You're good. You're ahead. So you don't have to do it this way. It's just one way. That I clearly don't do very much because I'm forgetting the things. But I know some people rely on that, so I want to be helpful. All right, so I'm going to factor what I can out of these two. I'm going to kind of separate these two groups. I'm going to take out 2x from this, so it's 2x times 2x plus 1 minus 3 times 2x plus 1, which becomes 2x minus 3 times 2x plus 1. That's why we do it. I lose anybody? It's tricky, like for me, I'll go to this route when I've got a number in front that's not prime, basically. If it's a 3 or 2 or 1, then it's much easier to guess and check, especially when this is as well. But when it starts breaking up, it could be 2 and 2 or 1 and 4, 4 and 1. There's lots of possibilities. So x either equals 3 halves or negative 1 half. Are we done? Are we good? Is it finished? No!
It's negative half.
We can't do this. It's rejected. You need to show this somehow. Even like if you just did this, better, arguably, is to say we reject negative a half because it creates non-permissible or what have you. Reject it somehow. If you just wrote like x equals 3 halves, like if you rejected it all in your mind, you saw this, you looked at it, it's like, I'm not even writing that down. That's a waste of my time. It's not a waste of your time. I need to see it. I need to see that you understand it. Yeah. Are we good? Good enough to get going on the assignmente?
Yep.
Alrighty. Maya, email me if you got questions.